Jai Gurudev, welcome to Connect with the Divine with Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vishwananda. Paramahamsa Vishwananda is an enlightened, God-realized spiritual master. His mission on earth is to open the hearts of mankind, and through his Bhakti Marga organization, he helps spiritual seekers experience and cultivate a very uniquely personal relationship with God. The Sanskrit word bhakti means love and devotion, and Bhakti Marga is the path of living and loving the divine in daily life. One way to do this is through chanting the name of God. This practice is also known as japam. Chanting is a very simple yet powerful practice that has been used for thousands of years. Ancient saints and yogis have called upon the power of chanting to help calm the mind and to attain higher states of consciousness. Many different spiritual traditions use chanting as a way to connect more intimately with the source of life itself. Chanting the Lord's name invokes His divine presence, and chanting with love helps you to realize Him within your own heart. You will notice that Paramahamsa Vishwananda is using a string of 108 prayer beads called a mala. A mala carries the vibrational energy of the divine name and helps to keep track of the repetitions. Paramahamsa Vishwananda will come online in just a few moments, and when he does, he will invite you to chant along with him for approximately 15 minutes. After the chanting is finished, he will lead everyone in a very short guided meditation to support Mother Earth. Once the meditation is finished, please sit quietly for a few moments to enjoy the effects of your japam. When Paramahamsa Vishwananda comes back online, he will give satsang by answering your spiritual questions and revealing timeless truths to help you rise above the challenges and fears of today's world. It is very rare to have such access to a living master, and it is even more special to have the opportunity to learn directly from him. We hope you enjoy your connection with the divine.
Have you ever looked into the eyes of a spiritual master? Come and experience it for yourself. Look into the eyes of real, unconditional love and let it open your heart. Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vishwananda is a God-realized master who lives in constant union with the divine. He lives at a place in the heart of Europe. It is called the home of the Divine Mother. From here, he is now giving what is called darshan online so that everyone can benefit. Darshan means divine sight, but simple words cannot do justice to the incredible experience of seeing and being seen by him. Look into the eyes of unconditional love and let it open your heart. You can now have your own experience of this divine master from wherever you are. Feel it for yourself and let love return.
Shri Vithala Giridhari विठला 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 माझा विठला श्री विठला गिरिधारी परब्रह्मणे नमः 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 परब्रह्मणे नमः परब्रह्मणे राधे 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 राधे
Hari 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 Narayana Narayana Om Narayana Om Narayana Hari 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 Narayana
Jai Gurudev, everybody. So let's chant the divine name together. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Jai Gurudev, everyone. Let us do a very short meditation. Firstly, close your eyes and visualize any aspect of the divine which you feel close to on your third eye. Feel the love and the warmth of the deity, your Ishtadev, if you have. And let this love flow through each part of your body. Now this love is flowing through each part of your body. Let the mind be free. Let the mind become positive. Focus on your Ishtadev. Now bring that divine aspect to the right eyes, then to the left one. Let it purify your sight, that you can see and perceive the divine at all times. Bring to your nostril, to your nose. Inhale deeply. Keep the focus upon that divine aspect. Let it purify your breathing. But each moment of your life, you are grateful for the gift of life itself. Bring that divine aspect to your mouth. Let it purify the sense of taste, so that you are grateful for whatever you received from nature. Bring that divine aspect to your right ear, then to the left one. Let it purify your hearing, that whatever you hear remind you of His presence and love. Bring the divine aspect to your hand, right one, then the left one. Let it purify the sense of touch, remind you of your service to humanity. Bring the divine aspect to the feet. Let it purify your path. Let yourself be guided each moment of your life to the right path. Bring the divine aspect to your heart. Let yourself be reminded of the love which God has placed inside of you, that divine parcel who you are. Let all the negativity be burned. Let all doubt be removed. Let peace reside inside of you. And chant with me. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Jai Gurudev, everybody. So I will ask Pankaj to ask your question.
Sometimes we think that we have unshakable trust in God, but then He tests us and our insincerity is exposed. How can we cultivate sincere trust towards God and Guru so that no matter what tests come, we stay sincere?
This is a very beautiful question, actually. Most of the time, you see, people think that their trust in God, in themselves also, are unshakable. But when do we realize that? When we see that there is certain things, you see, when as long as things go the way they want, they can talk about trust in God, they can talk about love in God, they can think that they are the most trustworthy being, but in the relationship to God. But when the test that God gave them, due to their pride and ego, they see very often that, yes, I failed that test. Because it's not about being failing, it's about seeing that yet I must move forward more. Because you see, bhakti, devotion to Guru and God, is not something superficial. It's something deep in itself. That question was asked to Narada. In Narada Bhakti Sutra, verse 35, Narada said, indeed, we will talk about the deepness of bhakti. First, he said, detachment from the sense gratification is important, from the senses. Second, what he said is we must keep away completely from things that divert our awareness from the inside and bring it to the outside. So when we analyze that, that verse, especially from Narada Bhakti Sutra, you see clearly what Narada is saying. The mind is looking, to be transformed, yet the ego, it is running toward the outside. You see, when we, very often people on the spiritual path, they are not aware, they think that they are egoless. They have to be free completely from the pride. But in reality, the ego is still very well present. And it is through the ego that the sense is being focused upon. So to change that, Narada said detachment from the sense organ, which means when we analyze that, it's quite difficult to detach from the senses. Because everything that you do, it is, the senses are there. So how to do that? And then he said that the only one way to do it is the rightful way of thinking. So change the way you think. Try to think in a positive way. And when I'm talking about positive way, it's not about self-gratification. It's about really being aware that you are in this positiveness, in that energy. It's not about you, it's about Him. You are here to please God and Guru. So why one should put oneself first? Then he said, first, second is that detach, keep away from everything that keep you away from diving within. So everything that keep you into the realm of the outside, you should detach yourself from that. So then when tests come, nothing can move you. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 10, Lord Krishna said, those who perform any action and surrender this action to the Supreme Lord without attachment and this passion, they are not tainted by sin. For them, they are like the lotus leaves which is on the water, which is not touched by the water. It's so beautiful, this verse that Bhagwan gave to Arjun. He said, whatever action you do in life, that action, if you surrender it to the Lord, you will not be touched by, the ego will not be touched. Because everything that you do with the understanding that, look, I am sincere. Very often devotees said, yes, I am very sincere to my path. I am sincere to the Guru. I listen to what the Guru is saying. But there is always this I, and my. I am doing this, I am doing that. You always put you first, then you put God and Guru afterwards. It have to be the opposite way. It's not the journey of the ego towards the soul. It is the soul which have to be first always. If you are concentrating on the ego continuously, how would the soul reveal itself? It will not. So focus must be on the Atma itself. When your focus is on the Atma, then there is no point of ego or displeasing, because the Atma doesn't, all this game of the outside is not concerned by the Atma, but it's concerned by the ego. The ego is fully absorbed into that. The ego like this, So where is your trust into? Your trust, it is onto the pleasing of your ego firstly, or pleasing of Guru and God sincerely. So that's why, you see, all the saints, for them they are fully absorbed into the divine. They forget about themselves completely. They are not bothered about their consciousness, they are not bothered about their awareness, they are not bothered about anything. What they are concerned is about their relationship to the Lord Himself. Relationship. Relationship have the word related. When you relate yourself to something, you are in deep connection with that. You see, the ego bring a certain attachment, which you want to be pleased, you want to hear thank you want to hear good things. But Guru and God will not give you this, because they are there to destroy that ego inside of you. That's why trust and surrender to the will of the Master and God must be sincere. No matter what comes, you should never be able to move. So in the process of the ego, there is a certain possessiveness into it. That's why when tests come, one insecurity is exposed, because of that possessiveness. They say, yes, I am possessive of that person, or I'm possessive of the Guru, I want possessive to do something, but it is not you. It is the ego which is talking. When the ego is put to test, then you will see how much are you sincere truly, how much are you trustworthy really. But if you are not attached to the ego, then you are just related to things. We know, like Bhagavan Krishna said, I am in everything. I am in the tree, I am in the stone, I am in the... Wherever you look, the devotees sincerely, they perceive me everywhere. But they're related to these quality of the divine in everything. But they will not go and have a relationship to the tree. Even if they know that the Lord resides in that tree, would they go and start hugging the tree and having a relationship with the tree? Maybe some people nowadays will, because they're a bit crazy. And sometimes somebody send me a message, and one man is marrying his doll, because he is in love with his doll. Only in America possible, all these things, But in the rest of the world, it is not. So you see, when you create a certain ego attachment to the things of the outside, then you will suffer. You will see that it is not sincerely my relationship to Guru and God. It is only pleasing myself firstly. Guru and God come second. But if I'm relating to these things on the outside. You see, I'm just passing by. All these things on the outside is just a reminder of His presence, of His grace. Just like Lord Krishna said, in that verse, that be like a lotus leaves. A lotus leaves grow from mud, from the water. It lived its whole life on that water, and it died in that water. But it don't relate itself to that water. Even if a drop of water come on it, automatically it slid and went away. So how one is related to things, If tests will come, if you are sincere, that will not affect you, because you are fully rooted into the divine, into Guru and God. And that transformation, how much you are into that grace of Guru and God, there will be no doubt about it. So cultivate that kind of trust. Cultivate that relationship, But no matter what happens, you are not being moved. Just like the lotus leaves which grow from mud, from water, in the same water, it lives throughout its life in that water, and it will die into that water. But the water can't moist it, and the water can't affect the leaves. So like that, when Guru and God give you test, if you are centered into the divine, nothing will be able to move you. So put your trust in the divine inside of you.
Dear Gurudev, you've said that our soul retains the same quality as the divine, but is not the same quantity, being only a fraction of it. But Krishna says in the Gita, with only a fraction of myself I sustain all that is. Does that mean that we have the capability to help sustain all that is?
Bhagavan Krishna is Bhagavan Krishna. He's the Supreme Lord, And like he said in the Gita, even just by a fraction, I'm sustaining everything. Of course, that same fraction is also inside of you. But when you look at yourself and you look at Bhagavan Krishna, there's a big difference between the two. So you can't say that. Very often you hear people say, "Yes, I am God." Yes, Bhagavan Krishna said also, "I am God," but he lived Govardhan with his little finger. He married 16,108 wives. This is two simple things. He have killed so many demons. Okay, we can say that all the demons are impression into the mind, but can you do by a fraction of things? He sustained the whole universe. Can you, by a fraction of who you are, like he said, he's inside each one of you. Can you lift the Govardhan? Can you marry 1608 and keep them all happy? It's easy to say, yes, we have the divinity inside of us. Of course, our true nature is a parcel of the Supreme Lord Himself. But we should not go into our ego into that. We are here to have a relationship with Him. Of course, we have all capability inside of us. We have all the potential, the divine potential inside of us. But very firstly, one quality that you have to awake is that humility. This is the most wonderful quality. The Supreme Lord Himself, even having done all these great things, He was without any pride or ego. So that divine quality which is inside of you, of course, can sustain everything. But you have to allow that divinity to express itself for you. So which one you want to retain? Very often you retain only the mind itself, but you don't perceive that beauty around you. If I would tell you, each moment of your life, there is a beautiful moment. If each hour in a day, there is a beautiful moment which the divine reveals itself. Do you perceive that in your life? That each hour in everybody's life, there is a golden moment where the divine reveals himself. But it's not aware because people are so much focused upon themselves. Like I said firstly, and I was saying earlier, people put that ego first. How should I fulfill all my needs and wants firstly? Then they put God afterwards. But it have to be Bhagwan first beyond everything else. Then it is not about you sustaining everything. It's about Him sustaining everything through you. And being aware of that precious moment of your life itself, you will see that there is this beauty in everything. There is this beautiful story of this young lady. One day, it was in the beginning of 20th century. This lady was standing on the side of the road, and she wanted to take a taxi to go to her mother's place. As she was standing on the side of the road, she noticed an old man standing on the other side and trying to cross over to the other side of the road. But there were so many cars, and that poor fellow was completely nervous and confused. So she was trying to stop a taxi. Another taxi was coming by. A flash happened in her mind. What shall I do? Shall I help him or not? So she opened her. She said, "Okay, fine. Let me go and help that man." So she turned her back toward her taxi and run towards the old man. And she held the whole old man's arm and crossed to the other side of the road. As she crossed to the other side of the road, the old man lightened up and joyful and said, "Thank you very much. You have given me my golden moment." So, saying that, she was puzzled. The golden moment, what that? But yes, look, in one life there is a time, in every moment there is a time where the divine reveals itself. But do you see it? No, nobody noticed it because they take it for granted. So the old man left joyfully, and that was puzzled into her mind, and she started thinking, what did this old man say? So as she was standing there, was trying to get a taxi back home, she turned and she saw a beautiful flower shop next to her. And in that flower shop there was a very beautiful flower, violet flower. And she was wondering, that would be lovely if I could bring that flower for my mom. And as she was thinking about that, she looked in her purse. There were no money. There was only one little coin to pay for the taxi only. So she had the choice now, whether to take that flower, which her heart had said, to her mom, or to take the taxi. And she was thinking, well, when we were small, we used to walk a lot, even much more than now. So she decided to buy the flower for her mom. And also she was thinking, for a very long time, somebody have not given such flower to the mother. As she was thinking, she went inside, bought the flower, came out, walked home. So she walked to her mother's place and gave the flower to the mother. And the mother was so happy and delighted. And she was crying. At that moment, that lady realized, yes, it was right what I have done. I have felt and I did listen to my heart. So the mother was saying, you have walked all this way, just for you to bring this flower for me. I know you don't have much money, but I'm telling you, I was very ungrateful and very ashamed, because I feel I'm not a good mother. And then she said, no, you are a good mother. And of course she had other siblings. And said, look, I was just blaming myself, how bad mother I am. But right now I realize, that the most important thing is that the mother's love is to give. I was about to collapse. I was about to finish, because of so much pressure. But you come in the right moment as a beam of light and make me realize, And she was very happy. So she realized that that was that precise golden moment for her mom. So then she went and she hugged her father. And they had a chat together. And the father was so happy to see her. So then she was telling about that golden moment to him also. So like that, you see, in each one life, the divine is the supreme sustainer of things. And each one, when they allowed the divine to take control of them, then you will see that that fraction which Lord Krishna said, I sustain everything just by a fraction of my qualities, So that fraction, when you allowed it, when you put your ego away, when you put your desire away, when you put your attachment to this outside reality away, then only you will see that one have that divine sustaining inside of oneself, and that one is being guided at all time. But that happened only when one attained the state of egoless, when one is completely humble. So allowed, that's what I said always, allowed him to be your driver. Then don't let yourself be driven by pride and ego, because pride and ego will make you crazy. In place of sustaining everything, you will destroy everything. So allow the divinity which is inside of you in the form of love to emanate its light, and find, in each moment of your life that His presence is the most sustaining of all. His presence in your life is the most joyful of all. So allow Him inside of you to create what He wants. Jai Gurudev.
Paramahamsa Vishwananda recommends we keep chanting the name of God every day. Just 15 minutes a day will help you to create an oasis of positivity and divinity in your life. We invite you to submit questions and learn more about Paramahamsa Vishwananda and his Bhakti Marga mission by visiting paramahamsavishwananda.com. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us again for another live Connect with the Divine session every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock Germany time.